When I was young, I used to gamble a lot. Back then, I never really had much money, because that habit swallowed everything I had. But as time passed, I changed, and I realized that no money comes without effort. Now I only go to the casino for small poker tournaments, with low entry fees, just a bit of fun, not really gambling. One early morning around 5 o'clock, after one of those small tournaments, I walked out of the casino and looked at the quiet, pale dawn. I hadn't won anything, just another night of playing for fun. As I stepped outside, I saw a pregnant woman who seemed to be in a difficult situation. She wasn't begging, but she walked up and asked if I'd had a winning night. I understood she was hoping that if I had won, maybe I could help her a little. And although I had won nothing, I reached into my pocket and gave her a $50 note. It wasn't about winning at the casino. It was just a small act of humanity. In that calm morning, I felt it was a good way to share a bit of kindness, especially knowing that I too had experienced hard times in the past. When she saw the $50 note, her eyes filled with gratitude. She gave a small smile, realizing it was simply an act of kindness, and I felt that on that quiet morning, with that single gesture, I had shared a small piece of humanity with her. After seeing the money, she suddenly began to cry. It was as if that small act broke the dam of her emotions, and in that peaceful morning, her tears spoke louder than any words. She started telling me about her husband and how they had come from a rural area to London, hoping for a better life. She said they had lost their farmland and their home, and her husband had gotten involved with drugs, overdosed and died, leaving her alone, pregnant, helpless, and penniless. She had been drained financially, and after everything she had gone through, she had almost nothing left. The reason she had come to that casino was that her husband had lost all their belongings in that very casino. After talking with her for a while, I realized she had become homeless and was living on the streets. And since I had achieved success and financial comfort through hard work and the grace of God, an idea came to me. Because she was pregnant, I felt my offer wouldn't be misunderstood. I offered to take her to my home so she could take a shower. She was confused at first, but when she saw how sincere I was, she agreed. I got a black cab and took her to my house in a good neighborhood in London. She took a shower, and by the time she finished, I had prepared breakfast. We ate together, and seeing her calm with a warm cup of tea gave me a good feeling. We talked a little, and when she asked if I wanted to sleep, I told her no. Around 10 in the morning, I took her shopping and bought her new clothes. I asked whether she had seen a gynecologist during her pregnancy. I called my own doctor and arranged an appointment for her with the OB-GYN at the same clinic. She was confused and asked why I was doing all this. I told her, because I'm crazy. I took her to the gynecologist and we did an ultrasound. They said the baby was healthy. She told me she was expecting a girl because she had learned the gender in a previous ultrasound. When her due date arrived and it was time for the baby to be born, I took her to the hospital. I was experiencing emotions I had never felt before, as if my own child was being born. The hospital staff treated me as though I were the baby's father, and then this beautiful creation of God entered my life. When I saw her, I suggested to her mother that the name Angela would be perfect, meaning angel. She had big, beautiful brown eyes, so striking that I felt I could drown in them. Imagine how happy I was, even though the baby wasn't mine and had no genetic connection to me. Just the fact that a baby had been born created a truly beautiful moment for me, and from then on, as I helped raise her, I felt incredible. Naturally, I had prepared the guest room, the same place where her mother had stayed from that early morning when I first brought her home from the casino. And imagine, I never looked at her as a woman from a man's perspective. She was simply a companion that God had sent me. And after that, gradually, I stopped going to the casino, because the casino had only been an excuse to socialize and pass some time. I often felt that many people who go to casinos do so because they are lonely and need someone. At that time, I had a companion, but I lacked real love in my life. Although the baby nourished me with love and enriched my emotions, it was certainly a different kind of love, not the love between a man and a woman. I watched the baby grow, and when she was 4 months old, one night when I came home from work, I discovered that the lady had prepared dinner and lit candles on the table, and that was the moment I saw her, Mary Ann, from a man's perspective, and realized how beautiful she was. Beyond her physical beauty, she had a tenderness and a human warmth. And I realized I wanted her as my wife. I shared this with Mary Ann. She said she had been praying, asking God that I would propose to her, because she felt she never wanted another man in her life after me. Even though she had begun to stand on her own feet again, and I had found her a job, and she had rediscovered herself, using her education and skills to build a stable life for herself and her daughter, she still felt she wanted me as her husband. I asked her whether she wanted to formalize our relationship and marry me. It goes without saying that during the 8 months we lived in the same house, I hadn't even touched her, not even once. Only a few silent, simple glances had been exchanged between us, and so we married. So everything began one early morning at 5 a.m. in front of a casino. I saw her there, pregnant, struggling, and just hoping for a little kindness. Even though I had won nothing that night, I gave her a $50 note, simply as an act of goodwill. Over time, we grew closer. I helped her through her pregnancy, and eventually we welcomed a baby girl into the world. That baby brought immense love into my life, and eventually the mother and I fell in love. We married, had 2 more children, Ariel and John, and built a beautiful life. Years passed, 28 years in fact. We had 3 children and a lifetime of memories. But then, sadly, she passed away in her sleep due to a heart attack, and I felt as though an angel had left my life. Yet the beautiful memories and the love we shared kept me going. Interestingly, at the time she had her heart attack and passed away, the doctors had told me that I had cancer and might die. Now, more than 3 years have passed since the angel of my life left this world, and I still haven't gone to join her. And that was our love story, which began in front of a casino at 5 a.m.